And guys, welcome to another special episode of the Clearly Culture podcast. Today we have a new segment called One at a Time, and I'm out here with my good friend and entrepreneur, the one and only, y'all may know him as Goat Vic. What up, Vic?
My boy, how you feeling?
Man, I ain't gonna lie, this kind of just happened on the fly, and when I was cultivating this concept for the podcast, and I wanted to talk to entrepreneurs and some other people that, because our podcast is usually, rappers and artists. I had my brother Kevin Holland from the UFC on here, but this guy's a big deal too, and I feel like his story can resonate with a lot of people. So it was really important for me to have him here, and everything just kind of fell together. So, man, tell me a little bit about yourself. Tell me a little bit about your journey. Where you from, Vic?
I was actually born in Atlanta. A lot of people think I'm from Houston, but I came from Atlanta 2011, and then I got my start here in Houston, cleaning shoes. That was my first business, so I'm big in the streetwear. That's how I know Cheyenne, Phoenix, like those are like my brothers, bro.
So you really started in the shoe game before you got to where you're at now.
Right.
So did you go to college? Like, what was your education like coming up?
Higher education, I went to University of Texas San Antonio. I was an engineering major for about 3 or 4 years, and then I eventually just jumped off of that because I had a clothing brand that was going, and it was kind of picking up to the point where I could live off the brand versus like going and applying for a job. So I just took that route and just took the risk.
You're part of the small percentage of people that realizes that they can actually go work for themselves. Obviously, it requires a lot more hard work.
Right.
But the payouts are great, and I feel like it helped you evolve into who you are now.
Exactly.
So Vic, what's your main business now?
It's funny because it always shifts. I try to keep up with the market and market trends, but as far as right now, one of the things that I'm really proud of is we have a sports betting community called Goat Sports. So if you're not in Goat Sports, make sure you tap in. It just started with an idea, a small group chat with some of my guys, thinking about how to make money off of sports picks and just understanding that the entertainment industry is just everlasting, So that grew from a group chat of 20, 30 people to about 20,000 people real quick. You know what I'm saying?
20,000?
20,000 people.
How many do you have right now in the group?
So we had 2 different groups. So the first group went up to 20,000, and then we had to filter it out because of the type of customers that we wanted to attract. So right now we currently have 7,000 people in the chat.
God, and how much do they pay per month?
Anywhere from 60 a month to 100 a month, depending on the tiers of what they have access to, and then you get a lifetime pass from anywhere from 400 to 1,500, depending on the promos that we're doing.
And if you add up how many subscribers he has versus how much he makes per month per subscriber, it's incredible.
Right.
that gambling, I guess you could say gambling or betting could have so much motion behind it.
Right.
What makes you feel like, or what draws people so heavy into sports betting?
I think it's a test of everyone thinking they know what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to teach anyone anything about betting on sports because they think they know everything already. Now all I have to do is provide you the platform to do what you think you already know how to do. So there's no learning curve. There's no friction with entry point. There's no investment. People already think they know everything about sports.
And I'm not going to ask you for the secret sauce per se, right? But I got to ask, how do you come up with these picks? What's the part of the research process behind this?
It's a lot more based on economics, macroeconomics.
Right.
The big picture. So that's kind of where my focus goes, rather than statistics and who's playing and who's not.
Do you feel like some of the education you also got while you were in college also helps on some of the bigger picture stuff that you do, even with your business now?
In a way, yes and no. Yes, because you learn critical thinking as an engineer, and you learn to think outside the box, and you learn how to solve problems without having all the tools to solve the problems, creating your own formulas and things like that, and just providing the best result and the most logical outcome.
So how do they become a member? What is the process in doing it? Is it on a website? Is it Telegram? What's the avenue how you do it?
So we have a website, but you can just Google Goat Sports and we're the first result. Once you sign up there, they'll put you in the Telegram chat after you pay, and your membership is literally linked to your access to the Telegram. So if you miss a payment, it'll automatically kick you out.
You hear that? Don't miss any payments. You're going to miss your picks.
We gonna repo your membership.
Hey, and one question I gotta ask you, man. Like, what's one of the craziest parlays or picks you've ever made?
Oh wow.
Tell,
This is
tell,
gonna be
I, 'cause
fun.
I
This is gonna be
I know you
fun.
probably get this. Tell me what's the crazy one, and it could be like crazy in the sense of like I didn't think this was gonna happen and it did, or monetary wise.
Right.
What is a crazy one that you hit on?
The craziest to date was $10,000 to $363,000 in one day, bro.
10,000 to 360K.
Yeah.
What can you tell me what pick that was from?
This was a mixture of playoff basketball, hockey. I want to say some baseball. This was like 2 years ago.
Wait, how long have you been doing the sports
4
betting?
years now.
4 years total.
Yeah.
So it really came strong during like the COVID era.
Right.
So whenever we were all at home, stuck at the house, was this kind of like when you formulated this idea, or was it something that already had been kind of brewing for a while?
It was more so like just something fun to do and understanding how big the business was.
Right.
And how big it could be. Because, sports betting was kind of like taboo, you know what I mean? Most people, it was frowned upon. If you're gambling on sports, like you're a degenerate or you just don't know how to manage your money properly. But once it started becoming more like commercialized, you got ESPN
Right.
jumping on, you got Prize Picks, FanDuel, DraftKings, everybody's like adopting, this new market. And once I saw that there was strength in numbers about building a community around it, that was my immediate response. Just build a community.
Very smart. And what's some of like the legality surrounding that, considering you're based in Texas, I guess per se?
Right.
Is there something that stops people from Texas from able to gamble, or when you have groups like that, does it not interfere? Does that legality side of us not being able to gamble, that doesn't get in the way of that, right?
It doesn't get in the way at all. The reason why is because we're just providing the opinions. So it's like if you text me and you say, who do you think is going to win out of these two teams? There's nothing illegal in me telling you I think this team is going to win versus this team winning.
Because you're not actually facilitating the bet
I'm
itself.
not facilitating the bet. I'm not taking bets. I'm not managing other people's money. I'm just providing an opinion. And I can provide that to anyone at any time.
Professional opinion maker. That
Literally.
pays very well. That's incredible. So, I'm privy to have known you for a while now, and also known, some other businesses that you got into. Right. So, we'll get back onto the betting stuff because it's a really cool thing to be talking about. But tell me about the car game, because that's one thing I feel like that was when I first met you. I felt like that was one thing that you were invested heavily in.
Right.
I think you were doing like Turo and and you were renting cars out and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Tell me a little bit about that and going down that journey.
So that journey was really special for me because I learned so much about entrepreneurship. You learn how to manage, you learn how to fight fires, you know what I'm saying? Because it is literally the most tedious and probably one of the most risky businesses that you can get into. However, like I said, you do learn a lot. So my first investment was, I believe we bought 2 or 3 cars to rent out. And once we realized that those cars were going to be out so much to the point where we just didn't have anything to do, we were like, we need more cars. Because once these cars are gone, we're just sitting at home counting the money from the cars. So it was
Right.
like, we ended up buying 19 cars that year. We made 6 figures.
19 cars.
19
That's
cars.
That's a whole fleet.
Right.
How did you kind of pull away from that now?
Not necessarily. The main reason why I will say I kind of like retract from that market is because, number one, it did get a little bit saturated. And number two, the liability is extremely high. And then number 3, it's just easier to make money doing other things that I'm not changing flat tires at 2 a.m.
Right.
If I'm sending pics out.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that pays a lot more. So.
And this is like with the betting, I feel like it's very residual too.
Right.
It's something
Extremely.
like you said, like if they miss a payment, they out of there.
Right.
So it's something every month they gonna make their payment because they want those damn picks.
Exactly.
So so back to the cars, fleet of 19 vehicles. What was like the craziest whip you had in that arsenal?
It actually got to the point where I was putting my personal cars into the fleet, which is something I never wanted to do. I remember there was one weekend, I don't remember what holiday it was. I want to say it was like Labor Day and Memorial Day. Fall, everyone's in Houston. It was during COVID when just like we were one of the only cities that were open.
Right.
So the place was packed. All 19 cars were out, and all I had was my 2 personal cars, which was at the time was my i8 and my G-Wagon. And I was like, nobody drives my personal cars but me. One of my homeboys came into town, was like, yo, you got any cars left? Mm-hmm. I was like, I'm sold out. He was like, what about your I-8? And I was just like,
Oh no.
I gotta do it. I gotta do it. He was paying top dollar too. So I was just like, you know what? It's cool.
So I went to
ahead.
20 cars that weekend.
Yeah, so we had 20 cars out that weekend. I actually ended up renting out both my cars. I was confined to my house.
21, won't you do
weekend.
something for me?
Literally 21 cars that weekend, bro. So I was stuck in my house the whole weekend. I didn't have any way to go anywhere unless I was doing Uber. But
And let me ask you, because you said like the car game can get a little bit of risky. You know, what is like one of the craziest? 'Cause actually, what's one of the craziest moments from the betting side? What's one of the craziest moments you had from renting cars? Tell me, Vic. I gotta hear
Yo.
it. I gotta hear it.
I had a car get stolen from a hotel valet.
How does that happen?
I'm not entirely too sure.
What car was it? What kind of car was
It
it?
was a 2017 white on white Maybach sedan.
Did they ever find it?
No.
Someone hit a lick.
I think we ended up settling with the hotel valet insurance. They just paid off the car, but that was about it.
I bet that was kind of mind blowing when that happened, because he's like, you don't expect, especially a vehicle like that and hotel valet. I feel
Right.
like, how does that even happen?
Hey, don't park at the DoubleTree in the Galleria.
You heard that? We're
Your
not gonna
car
blank.
might
We're
go
not.
missing.
Yeah, we're not gonna blank it out either.
Your car might go missing.
And I want to ask you something, Vic. So obviously you've seen a lot of success. How old are you, by the way?
I'm 27 now.
27 years old. Let me ask you, because I'm a big family guy. What does your mom and dad think about this?
Yo, they don't necessarily understand the magnitude of it until like we'll be out and like people will come up to me and like, oh, like I want to take a picture, or oh, you helped me, change my life, my situation. But they're extremely proud, and I think that took a lot of stress off of them, because being like Nigerian in America, they want you to go to school and go the conventional route because it's the safest route.
Right.
And it's obviously what worked for them.
Right.
But as far as for me, like, it's a new game and they're trying to give me old rules. I'm like, we can't win that way. So I took a lot of risks that they didn't really appreciate, but right now they're comfortable.
I was about to say, I know they got to be very, very proud of you, and at the end of the day, you did go the conventional route. But the thing is, this is a new generation. We got cell phones, we got social media. Really, the phones allow us to be whoever we want, right? Mm-hmm. So at the end of the day, we have access that we didn't have before. I'm 39 years old. When I was your age, cell phones were really just coming up on the cusp of things,
Right.
But, when I was in college at UTSA, I was a road runner as well.
Oh, word.
Yes, sir. From
lit.
06 to 09.
That's lit.
iPhones weren't really, we had computers, obviously, right? But the game was a lot different, And so, even like how, with my business here at the Closet, that was all formulated through social media and cell phone and just all that stuff, too. So do you feel like having that access to technology also help take your business to the next level as well, too?
I wouldn't have been able to make it without it.
What do you think you would have been doing if it wasn't for that?
Luxury car sales. That is, like, if I didn't make it entrepreneurship, I think I would be luxury car sales. Or I'd be playing basketball in like China or something. That's probably be it.
So let me ask you. So now you've been doing this for some time now. Where do you see Vic a year from now, and where do you see Vic 5 years from now?
A year from now, I don't want to get too ahead of myself. It's more about like doubling down and making sure that I've turned every stone over, making sure that I'm still providing the best type of like impact using my current platform, because it's growing fast, and every single day there's a new person that needs to learn what I have to offer. As far as 5 years, just everything at scale. Everything what I'm doing right now, like instead of 7,000 people, 70,000 people, deals with larger companies, you know what I mean? But just looking at every day like a month, you know what I'm saying? Doing as much as I can do with the 24 hours that I'm given every day.
Not enough hours in the day. And Vic, do you got wife, kids?
No wife, no kids. It's,
So
it's the best way to go.
Your business is your baby right now.
Right.
So, one thing I was gonna ask you, is obviously you've seen success in so many different fields, and I was talking to you a little bit earlier, and you said that you were getting into doing YouTube. What's kind of your goal with going to the YouTube route now?
I think reaching a new demographic. I think that's probably the biggest thing. I've been big on Twitter, been big on TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram. YouTube is probably like more tedious.
Right.
It requires a lot more. It's like you're a movie director. You know what I'm saying? You're not just an influencer. You're not making 5-second reels and shorts. You're making movies. And I think that would give me a new audience and honestly more people to impact. So that's where my focus is.
And great answer, Vic. And my guys were telling me something about what was called a $10 challenge, right? Is it the $10 challenge?
It's $5,000 challenge.
Oh, it's the $5,000 challenge. So tell me about this challenge.
Right. So the $5,000 challenge, we could do 10 too, but fuck it. You know what I mean? We'll try to make it as easy as possible.
My cameraman, so you said $10 challenge. Yeah, see,
it's a challenge.
You were off by a little bit, but tell me a little bit about this challenge, though.
So the $5,000 challenge is me attempting to take multiple people from $5,000 to $100,000 within 10 days.
Hold on, 5,000 to
100,000.
So a 20 times increase.
Right, in 10 days or less.
And what do they need to do? They just have to have 5,000 to put up.
Disposable income. I don't manage the money. I just tell them how to. So I would say put 2,000 on this parlay to win 20,000. Put 1,000 on this to win 10. And I pretty much just tell them exactly how I'm playing it. I think the first day of the challenge, my clients made $42,000.
42 on the first day, but I also got to ask, because with wins come losses.
With wins come losses.
What is the biggest loss you've personally taken in the gambling arena so far?
$50,000 2 years ago today. No, a year ago today. Miami Heat playoff game, $50,000. I was at a party too.
I know you were quiet at that party, huh?
Nah, honestly,
it comes with the wins,
okay.
right?
I thought I was gonna be more upset than I was, but after it was done, it was just like, I'm still alive. Like I thought this was gonna be worse. You know what I mean? But it was fine.
I mean, like you said, the wins, you're gonna have losses in this game. No one's gonna be 100%.
Right.
With the $5,000 challenge, has there been any people who've put up the 5K but did they get to a point where they lost the 5K or they didn't get back necessarily what they wanted? Because at the end of the day, nothing's promised. But has there been a few people that have kind of like slid through the cracks? Or
we started last week and it's been pretty successful. As far as managing it, that's where there's like a couple kinks, like me timing when I send the picks out. Or just ignoring the fact that there's a learning curve. Like I might send a list of picks to someone who's never gambled before and they do everything wrong and they're just like, why is everyone winning and I'm losing? Like what happened? So I'm like, oh, there's like a educational piece that I'm missing, or there's like, a tutorial piece that I'm missing. So just adding those things in, but the people that know what they're doing, they're making money.
Are you going to be doing like classes for this?
Not necessarily. I'd rather people come already like keen to sports betting,
right?
And the vocabulary and things like that. I don't want to promote degenerate gambling.
Right.
5,000 to 100K. I'm more of like a slow and steady wins the race type of guy. But this is just something fun for those guys who it's not doing it for them. You know what I mean? But yeah, I don't want to promote it, like over promote it. If that makes sense.
Do you have the same success that you have with gambling when you go to somewhere like Las Vegas?
Yes.
And do you literally just stick to like the betting side, or do you get into doing like other things like blackjack, baccarat, and things like that?
Table games are completely luck. Obviously, the house has the edge.
Absolutely.
I like to bet on things that I'm more sure of or things that I can study. So most of my money does go to the sports book, but I've flipped $50 to about 10 grand on baccarat and roulette a couple times. But
I love baccarat.
The longer you sit at the table, the more at risk you are. And it's just not the same with sports.
Do you have like a lot of celebrity clientele as well that utilizes your picks,
right? Yeah.
To also bet as well?
Yeah.
Is that kind of mind blowing, the fact that they come to you for that, or is it just like it's like whatever at this point?
Not really, because just because you have money doesn't make you extremely intelligent,
right?
Or pay attention to detail. I got guys that lose $250,000 in a week and just be like, damn. I'm just like, what do you mean, damn? You lost $250,000 in a week. And they're just like, all right, well, send me the better picks or send me the locks. Then they make the money back and they're like, all right, I'm going to just take what you take. And it's just that simple. Now we're locked in.
So in 4 years of doing this, if I can ask you this question, how much do you think betting has made you personally?
$13 million.
Vic, I think I'm doing the wrong thing over here, man.
I saw that coming.
13 mil in 4 years.
Yeah.
That is impressive. So you built something that was an idea during COVID into a multi-million-dollar business. So now the next question is, for someone that's watching this video, And not saying that they want to start their own betting group. It could be maybe they want into getting to cars, you know, or maybe they want to get into doing content. What's some words of advice you could give to someone that's just coming up? Maybe they have a little bit of money that they do want to invest into something, or maybe they're at a point where, you know, they're getting into that process and getting to what they want to do, you know? What's some advice you would give them?
Consistency will set you apart from your competition. And don't share your ideas with people who can't understand where you're going. Because if you are surrounded by people who don't believe, then that's going to make you not believe as well. But consistency is probably the most important thing, because you can be wrong 1,000 days, but if you give up on day 1,000, then you did everything for nothing. You know what I'm saying? Or if you try something, you start, and you're taking breaks, you're procrastinating, and it's just as good as somebody who's not doing anything. So being persistent and being consistent is probably the most lethal combo in entrepreneurship.
Man, I'm learning a lot of game from this guy today. It's been a really refreshing episode. And like, one more question I do want to ask you though. So you are getting into doing YouTube, and when we were over here talking, you're gonna be giving away a car.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about that, bro.
All right, so shout out to Fan Funded. So basically, we started a company that is backing people with credits based on how accurate their sports picks are. So, for example, someone who is really good but doesn't have the bankroll to kind of make like a big splash, we'll be able to offer them based on their accuracy, and they'll take a 70-30 split, 70 going to them and 30 going back to the company. So what we're doing is we're giving away a wide body scat pack to whoever has the highest accuracy over the course of a month, and there's going to be a leaderboard.
Wide body. How much is a wide body scat pack?
40, 50 grand brand new.
And someone's gonna literally get a brand new car. Are you gonna make like a whole video, like whenever you present it to them and everything too?
It's going to be completely authentic. We pay cash, and there's no note, like, we have no emotional or financial ties to the car.
You know, because there was another YouTuber, I don't know if you've seen this, Corey SSG.
Yeah.
And he gave away a couple cars.
Right.
And I think he had like an issue with one of the guys in the vehicle. Something had happened. I didn't really read too much into it, like what happened. But whenever you pay cash for a vehicle and someone wins it, you just hand them the keys, the paperwork. Do they pay taxes on that?
Yes, I believe they do pay taxes on that, because I remember we had to account that into our accounting.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, you're getting a wide body scat pack. I mean, shit, that's an incredible thing, and you're giving that away at the beginning of your YouTube phase. How many subscribers you at right this very second?
I don't have a single video up, and I think we're at like 3,000 subscribers.
So you know what? We're gonna look at this video a year from now, because he is very consistent, and I know this is gonna blow up next. And Vic, I gotta say, I'm grateful for you sitting down with us. I know how busy you are.
Absolutely.
And for everybody that's watching this, we're gonna put his social media on here as well too. Make sure you follow him on every platform, and more importantly, make sure you get those betting picks every month. Because guess what, my guys at the shop, they've been winning a bag, and this ain't no paid promotion or no ad.
At all.
I genuinely love this guy right here. He is a Houston icon out here. And for everybody that's watching this, thank you for tuning in. This is the first episode of our new series, One at a Time, presented by Clearly Culture. And on that, we're taking off. Thank you, Vic.